guys, it's Tamanga, also known as Tay the Traveler. I realize that in all my videos I start with like my arms up in the air. Not even sure why that is a thing, but anyway, okay, so today's video we're going to be talking about some pre-courting tips. So this video was inspired from a conversation that I was having with my best friends, and we were kind of talking about things that we would have loved to know, loved to do in the early stages of courting. This is kind of when you guys are just kind of like, you like each other and you've gone on a couple of dates, but nothing is actually set in stone. And so these are kind of things that we would have loved to do and implement. And so this video is for those people, but it's also for people who are already in a courtship. I think you can implement these wherever you are in your relationship and your journey if you haven't done them. I think there's things that are really helpful for anybody in a relationship or courtship, whichever terminology you want to use. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first tip, like I said, this is for people where you guys are talking, you like each other, you've been on a couple of dates. I think it's really important to take some time out to pull back and really be honest with yourself about where you are regarding commitment. Sometimes we meet somebody and that person is so phenomenal and we just kind of like fall in love with them, and like we're like, oh my gosh, I want to get to know this person and I'm so excited, and we get lost in the sauce. And then 3 months later we realize, like, wait, I don't think I'm in a place right now where I can actually commit to somebody. I'm busy with school, I'm busy with work, me and God still have some character things we need to deal with, and I'm just not there yet. But the person's already like fallen, they're ready, they're into you, and it always results in heartache. So I think very early on you need to take some time, be honest with yourself, and being honest with yourself allows you to be honest with somebody else. So yeah, have that conversation with yourself, really evaluate where you're at and whether commitment is something you can do right now. Okay, tip number 2, you guys need to have the awkward conversations very early on. And by that I mean set your expectations of what you want, what you're willing to tolerate, what you're not willing to tolerate. Talk about how many kids you want, talk about when you're willing to get married, talk about doctrine. Do you guys have opposing doctrines? What church does it go to? What does it believe? Do those things clash? And the reason why I say this is that this will help to avoid arguments later on in the future. And it will also help you to assess whether this is actually something that you want and something that you can do. So if you're trying to get married in 2 years, but like he's trying to get married in 5 years, that's an issue. There's a clash there, and it's a clash that you guys need to talk about and be like, okay, are we willing to compromise? Are we not willing to compromise? Because what you don't want is 2 years into the relationship, you guys are now arguing about, oh, I thought you wanted to get married, oh no, I still need 3 more years. So have those conversations early on, because then the other person's like, do you know what, I actually don't think I can do this, I don't think I can compromise what I believe. And that's so important, because I think sometimes what ends up happening as well is that we don't have these conversations, and then we are 2 years deep into a relationship and then we're forced to compromise on our own standards and on our own values because we already have feelings for this person and we are not willing to sacrifice that relationship. So have those conversations now. Like, am I willing to give up A, B, C, D? Am I willing to give up A, C? No? Okay, I don't think this might work for us. So yeah, have those conversations, talk about all your expectations. What do you believe? Do you believe in kissing during a courtship? Do you believe in kissing on your wedding day? Have those conversations about purity. What are your boundaries? What are my boundaries? Again, are we willing to compromise? Are we not? Okay, this might not work. And like, it just saves heartache in the future, guys. Like, these are the kind of things that, like, you just get them out of the way, and if it doesn't work at the early stages, you're like, oh, okay, bye. Like, not a year in. Like, you just don't have this conversation 6 months in, a year in. It will save you heartache. Okay, cool. So we've done step 1, we've done step 2. You guys are now courting, you're starting to get to know each other. It's great. One thing you need to do is you need to get accountability. You need people who are going to hear God with you and for you, are going to pray for you guys, who are going to ask you the hard questions, people who are going to be there for wise counsel, for wisdom. And that can be through a mentor if you guys actually have separate mentors or a joint mentor. And if not, you can look for a couple who you value their maturity, you value where they are in their relationship, and you can go to them or you can go to your pastor, whatever setup works best for you guys. But I would advise looking for people whose relationship you would aspire to be. There's no point getting accountability from somebody that you don't want to be where they are. If they're in a crazy, dysfunctional, messy relationship, you don't want that. So they're not the right people to give you guys accountability and wise counsel. So yeah, I would definitely say look for people who can, they don't even have to be necessarily older than you, they can be another couple your age, and they're kind of going after the same thing, they have the same values, same morals, and they can keep you guys accountable. And when I say accountable, by the way, people instantly think about sex and about, like, you know, that kind of thing, but sometimes it's not even just that. It's sometimes just accountable in your journey. There might be things that within the relationship you might be struggling to understand, or struggling to kind of come to understanding with your partner, and having like people that you can always go to for wise counsel, to sit you guys down and to be like, okay, well, you know, this is what we think, we've been through something similar and this is how we walked it out. Yeah, it's just helpful. Wisdom is always good. Like, always be in a place to receive wisdom. Okay, so next tip, love languages. This is super important. So there's actually a book out there called the 5 love languages. If you can, read it. If you can't, do some Google. You'll find blogs and things like that that explains the concept. But it's basically how people are loved. There's 5 ways how people are loved. I'm sure there's more, but we're gonna go with the 5. And it explains that different people are loved differently. Some people are loved through words of affirmation. Some people are loved through gifts. Some people are loved through physical touch and quality time. And I think this is so important when you're first getting to know people, because one of the worst things you can ever do is try to love somebody in the way that you were loved. So you try to buy them gifts and they just won't receive it well, because that's just not how they're loved. They're loved through quality time. So there's a test you guys can actually do. It's free. Do it. Learn each other. Learn how to love each other, because I think that's a thing that happens in the early stages. You can clash against each other because you're trying to like find the best way to love each other, and you're kind of hitting and missing. So do that. Last thing is what I believe that will be helpful, and something I wish I'd done as well, is just like keeping your relationship private. So not a secret, private, so people can know about it, but they don't need to know the ins and outs. Really protect it from people as much as you can. Obviously there's people that, you know, you need to know, your mentors, your parents, your best friends, your siblings, but if you can, keep it off social media for the first 6 months. Really just protect it from other people's voices, other people's opinions, and just, yeah, like other people's words. You don't need that. Try to protect it in the early stages. The first 6 months, it's about you guys building, it's about you guys knowing each other, and yeah, just learning to protect the things that are most important to you. So yeah, so these are kind of some of the tips that I think that people who are pre-courting can try to implement that will be beneficial. I hope you guys got something out of it. If you have any other tips, please put them down in the comment section for other people. I know that there's so much I need to learn and things that I would love to implement in my relationship. So yeah, let me know. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.